Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV. Nice to have you along. We keep talking club rugby. Well, of course, if you've been watching the wires, so to speak, you will, of course, know that last week, Friday, in fact, Western Province Rugby had another festival, a youth festival for the girls at City Park. To tell me more about that, I've got Simnikiwe Ngunda on the line with us. He's, of course, coach. Well, let's actually ask him directly, because it seems like Simi's involved with quite a few things. Simi, welcome back to Cape Rugby TV.
Hey, JP. Yeah, it's always good to be here, man.
Yeah, Simi, nice to see you again. Let's clear that up. You're the backline coach, but you're also involved with the overall coaching structure for YTC.
That's true.
So just tell us a little bit about how does that work? Like, in fact, give us a little bit of your background. We haven't really focused on you much.
Okay, JP. Simnikiwe Ngunda was born and raised in Eastern Cape at a village called Lower Khegu. I grew up there. When I matriculated in 2007, I came to Cape Town to study in CPUT. That's where I got my diploma in office management. Then after that, I did a short course through Western Province in sports administration. It was in 2015 when I joined the Western Province Hub program, coached in Kailicha, but I was more focusing on both girls and boys.
Yeah.
Then most of the festivals with my girls, we came to City Parkers to play. It was then that I was identified by Roger Smith and Samuel Malatu, who were the coaches back then. Then I joined the structure of the YTC. Then in 2019, when Roger left to China, then I went for an interview through SA Rugby. Then I got the post, then I became the YTC head coach here at Western Province.
So you've had quite a process, and you in fact got your sporting career, so to speak, started at Western Province Rugby, and here you are now. So tell us a little bit more about the YTC program itself. I mean, when you got involved with that, you've obviously been involved with it a long time. If you think about just some of the highlights, the things that jump out for you about the YTC program.
One of the highlights, Shape, is this, more especially when it comes to this province of Western Province, whereby you're having different cultures, So you get a chance to learn more about different cultures, different races. That was one thing that really caught my eyes here, and I was like so pleased, because I'm working now not only with the culture that I am, but learning more about other cultures.
Do you think that, I mean, if we look at Western Province Rugby and YTC, the program itself, and we've seen the success and growth of the Western Province women's rugby structures, do you feel that there's a connection here, YTC? I mean, you're obviously focusing on the girls coming through the ranks, and they get to under 18 and they start moving into club space, and I mean, we had such a successful season with the women's rugby. Are you feeling the connection there between all the different women's structures?
Yes, JP, there is a connection, just because some of the girls who are now the Springboks, who are now the first team players of Western Province, they came through the structure. So there is that connection, there is that link. And whenever we are doing planning around our girls' development, we always sit together with the senior side, so that whatever that they are doing up there, we can always do with the younger girls, so that they can move through knowing that this is what's happening on the senior team. And when they get there, they know exactly what is it that's happening that side.
Let's go to the YTC program then, at least the festival, this past Friday at City Park. You had quite a few age groups there. Just tell us a little bit about who was participating and the style of rugby and who was involved.
We had a festival on the 29th of October at City Park. It was more in the form of sevens rugby. We're not playing 15s now, we're playing sevens. Yeah. We had 12 schools attended. So we had 12 teams, 2 under 14, 2 under 16, and 9 under 18 teams. So in total, we had about 141 girls participated in the overall festival.
And all from schools?
There were some from clubs. To mention the few, we had Falls Bay Rugby Junior Clubs, we had Makassar Rugby Junior Club, we had Vusa Academy, there was Kailicha Jag, we had Intlanganiso, which is a high school, we had Lindelani Center, we had BZB Juniors. Then, of course, some of our girls whom that their schools are not participating. So we formed a club of them, we call it Western Province Barbarians. Then we had Northern Rugby Juniors, We had Dolphins Rugby Junior as well, Bevel South Primary, and we had Isilimela from Langa.
Simi, of course, the other element is that it was just a week ago, in fact, that you guys had trials at City Park for the annual summer games, and quite a few boys and girls also selected there for the end of year tournament.
Yes, JP. For the girls, we had about 7 girls who were selected, then from Western Province, that are part of that under-15 squad, and I'm being elected as the head coach of that under-15 squad that will go down and compete in Joburg.
And the team itself is, of course, made up from Boland, SV Deer, and Western Province Rugby. So how does that work? How do they come together for training and start forming a team structure when you've got kids from so many different provinces?
It is the Department of Cultural Affairs and Sports that runs the trainings. For example, this coming Friday, we're having a mini camp, which is for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we will be based in Western Cape Sports Schools.
So, Simi, let's just go back to the event now that, of course, happened on Friday. This was the final festival for the year. But you've got quite a lot of players that obviously you've been able to identify, a lot of girls on your database now. What did they do next? Is it a question of training at home, training at the school? Do they come back next week? What's next in line for these young girls?
For the identified girls, GP, they will do now. They will train from home. We're going to hand over a program to them. Then come next year, early Feb, we'll be doing testing with them. Then we'll start with the preseason.
Preseason next year, do we have some sort of idea in terms of timeframes? I suppose you guys are also waiting to see a lot of information from the Department of Education and Sport and Rec South Africa to see what the possibilities are. But what would you normally predict for school sports? We know club sports normally starts around pre-season. In fact, nowadays clubs are starting pre-season already in December and January. What would you predict as a standard pattern for school sport?
Since these girls participate in different sports codes, usually from January to March, they are busy with athletics. So when we're doing our planning, we as Western Province, usually in Feb, let's say mid-Feb, we're having sessions on a Saturday so that we may not interfere with the athletics.
Right.
So we're focusing more on February.
Simni, we're going to leave it there. We'll say to you guys, well done. It sounds like everybody had great fun. Fantastic to hear that you had almost 150 young girls participating there. And again, I think it just goes to show that all the hard work that you guys have put in, not only from the rugby side, but the ability to keep everybody excited and interested and passionate is fantastic. So well done.
Thank you so much, AP.
There we go, folks. Simnikiwe Ngunda, of course, coach of the YTC structure, and of course, coach of the Western Cape side that is playing in the annual summer games. That's, of course, happening, as he mentioned, in Johannesburg later in the year. So, well done to Western Province Rugby and all the administrators and Simni and his team for doing such a fantastic job. And it really is. It really is fantastic to see the players on the field and that they actually know that there is a possible future for them in the world of rugby. And that's evident enough by simply looking at the structures that are ahead of them, such as, of course, the women's team that's done so well this season. Right, folks, we'll take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec.